Hello again, everybody. This is Joe Larson, and you're watching the 505 on Racing Show. As you can see, I'm not in my normal set. I am in Studio A. Normally, that's where we have the buffet for our guests, but today we have, or tonight I should say, the Checker One Motorsports racing team with us, with the team owner Artie Pedersen Jr., Artie III, and Alan. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Yep.
I know you guys have a lot going on, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules. You know, one's going to college, one's in high school, playing sports, working on the cars, working full time. There's a lot involved with putting on a race team, and I have to say that, you know, and I'm going to get a little goosebumpy now. Anytime I see a father with his boys or a son or a daughter doing something together like this, that's a home run. That's a home run.
We've been doing that since they were six and 7 years old.
Yeah, I mean, you guys started in go-karts when you're 5, 6, 7 years old, and I understand we have some go-kart champions here as well.
Yeah, I was a two-time championship in two strokes, and so was he. He was a kart champion.
And when you first got into go-karts, was it something, did you approach mom and dad and say, I want to race a go-kart? Did dad say, why don't you guys race some go-karts? How did that all fall in?
Dad always wanted us to, especially when I started. And at first, I wanted to, and believe it or not, my first time I was out, my throttle stuck, my first time on the track. Yeah. And that kind of was a setback for me. It took me about 6 months to get over that.
Did it really?
That was supposed to be my rookie season, and I went out next season and won the first 3 races in a row.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we were raised around it, so my dad, you know, he always wanted us probably to do it a little bit. And once we did it, once we got into the go-karts, I remember the first race, I was playing one of my racing games. I was like, all right, it should be like the racing game, full throttle. And I was able to get around the whole track, and everyone was letting up, and I just kept putting it, and I won my first race.
You know, it's really funny, cool. A lot of guys go to these racing games, these simulator type of things, because it's kind of set up the way the tracks are really set up. I'm sure there's no Riverhead Raceway or the West Hampton Old Speedway that we used to run at years ago, go-karts. Or I don't know if you guys ran the old Medford Speedway back when that was...
We did road course racing.
Yeah, okay.
I think that teaches them car control.
Oh, definitely.
And it shows, I mean, they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But I think that really teaches them, so...
I mean, you know, Alan, you've been racing go-karts since you're 6 years old. You had 2 karting championships, as you said. You finished 5th in the Riverhead points, and in the Legend car, and the New York State Semi-Pro Championship. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
That was a really cool experience. Basically, we were mainly just going for Riverhead this year. We went away to Waterford 1 week, and we didn't even know we were in like the running until like at the end of Riverhead, and we're like, hey, we got a shot to win this. So we started traveling up to Bethel and stuff. We used a lot of our money, and we ended up having some of the best runs. I won my first race at Bethel up there in my brother's car, actually, because my engine went. And
Artie gave his car up.
I almost had max points every week that I could, finishing top in my division, and we got the championship.
Nice.
That was really cool.
Yeah, it was good.
And I'll tell you, Mom and Dad, you know, you got to be proud of an accomplishment like that.
I'm so proud of them. They both qualified. You know, we made the Nationals this year. Mm-hmm. That was a good experience because I figured they're both might be the last shot in that division.
Right,
you know?
right.
And there was 160 cars that showed up, and they both qualified. So, I mean, Artie qualified in the pro division, he qualified in the semi-pro division. Both had good runs going, and stuff happened, but we were there, and we showed them we were there. Yeah.
The fact that you gave up your opportunity for your brother, that says a lot as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, most families, they usually argue with each other and really fight over who's better in this. I mean, we always worked together since we started.
Yeah, this was my first year. We switched. We built a brand new coupe car, so it was the same pretty much almost exactly as Artie's.
Setups, everything.
So we completely just swapped his setup to mine and just tweaked it for me, you know.
Uh-huh.
So that was really good, you know, get off on the right foot and all that.
Yeah, these guys work well together.
Yeah,
I brought them up that way.
Exactly. Well, you know, I'll tell you, the handful of times that I went to Riverhead Race, I always stop by and say hello to you guys.
We know each other all the time.
You guys aren't messing around. You go there to go racing.
Yeah, we do our homework.
Yep.
I've been learning a lot. I learned a lot on my own since I took probably physics in 9th grade. I just went a whole new level with everything on setups, alignment, making sure I get the cars as perfect as I can and know why I'm doing it. And
now,
it shows in both of us.
You're attending college for engineering, correct?
Yes.
Where you going?
Right now I'm at Farmingdale State
Now-
College.
This engineering degree that you hope to one day attain, because from what I understand, you guys in high school, especially yourself, you were one of the top guys in your high school.
Yeah, I finished, I believe, 15th in my class.
Wow.
Yeah,
Again,
very proud, yeah. It's not just the racing, their grades are terrific. They're well-mannered. I brought them up to respect people, work hard, treat people good like my father did for us. You know all my brothers and my family.
Yeah.
And, we just practice it every day, and we work good together. We built a nice shop, and it helped us a lot.
Now, you were runner-up in the New York State Championship. What was that like to just be this close?
That run was something. It was basically just like how his was. We got to the end of the year. We started a little later.
Bad
The
luck,
kid that
too.
actually beat me ran Winter Nationals. He ran everything from January on. We started regular time, ran a bunch of races. I was finishing top 10, top 5 every week that year. We got to the end. We saw we could do it. We went hard after it and
Just came up short.
missed up by maybe a spot on the track. That was about it.
That's got to be an awesome feeling. Awesome feeling. Now, Artie, I understand that you've also driven late models.
Yeah, this year I've basically driven almost everything that I can get into. I figure 8, the modified. It was a bunch of fun. It's a good experience as a driver.
A little bit different than the full-fended car.
Yeah, it definitely is. I like it. It was definitely cool.
The first time you strapped into a modified, and I want to see if you had the same feeling as I did. When you strapped in and all you were able to see was this, how did that feel?
It was definitely different, but I was pretty confident going out. I knew I had a good car. John Fortin helped me out and let me drive one of their older cars, and it was a good piece of equipment, and we just made the most of it and had fun that day.
John Fortin, he's one of the best in the business, been around for a long time. I've known John over 30 years.
We're good
And
friends, yep.
He's good people, and he
They're great
gets a
people.
bad rap sometimes, but you know what? No.
John's a good person. The whole
Absolutely.
family's good.
Yeah.
People, there's a reputation or whatever, but they're great people. They'll help anybody.
I'll tell you what, when I first started, him and his dad, who passed away years ago, they helped me like they knew me their whole life.
That's right.
And that's what this business is all about.
It's a racing family.
Absolutely. You may be, dicing it and slicing it on the racetrack, but man, you need something. Everybody's there for each other.
That's right.
It's a good thing. Now, you were no slouch as a driver. You did okay in your lifetime. Tell us a little bit about your racing career.
Well, I have 3 karting championships. We're the first father, son, and son to win the Long Island Championship in karting. So that was
That's
pretty
impressive.
cool. And I won it when I was younger, and then when they got back into it, when they were like 7, 8, 9 years old, an older guy that I used to know set one up for me to run again in my older age, and I won it again. So that was pretty cool. I started racing spectator drag, believe it or not. Won about 4 of those.
Right.
And we got a blunderbuss that we built our own blunderbuss. You had to move up with the times, keep up with the times. And I won in that. I've won in everything I've raced. So, late model, got Rookie of the Year. And we just, I don't know, it's just a family thing. My brothers, we all help each other, and you know how well they do also.
Yeah.
So, and we help everybody else too.
I mean, both your brothers are figure 8 champions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Artie got Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year in the figure 8s. And I'll tell you what, I drove figure 8s on and off. And what was that experience for you the first couple of times out
Well,
there?
the first time I went out, I said, how am I ever going to get this big block of metal to turn? But I figured it out. I had my uncle obviously help me. He's one of the best to drive one.
Yep.
And, I just eventually got it. I tried driving it like a go-kart, and you can't because it's just so big. But the aspect was the same, and I think I picked up a lot from running the road courses with that. And I picked it up pretty quick.
Yep. And it's funny, and you go figure 8 racing, and I've spoken to figure 8 guys who ran in oval track, and they would say they were bored.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's a lot going on.
Oh.
I drove on as out in practice,
Yeah.
and Scott, they let me take it out in practice and stuff. And the one thing is when you're racing oval, you're looking ahead of you a couple spots, and you got to be aware of everything going on next to you, ahead of you. Figure 8, behind you, sideways, left, right,
The opposite corner.
You got to watch everything, and it's a handful. But and like he said, they're heavy cars. You got to get them around, get them to handle. It's I think it's a lot of throttle control and finesse,
Without a doubt.
and that's big,
Yeah.
and the ones who can do that do well, you know.
I can definitely tell why, like John Fortin and all the other guys that came from that, why they're so good, because you can just tell from what they learned doing that.
Yep.
I mean, Greg Sachs, who went on to Spring Cup racing, he was a figure eight champion.
Chris Young.
Chris Young,
Yeah.
John Fortin,
John.
Tommy Rogers. I mean, there's a list of names.
John's one of the most underrated drivers. He can drive, John. I mean that. He's good. Yeah, Tommy Ryan, right? You know, all the guys back then.
You know, Spring Cup champion, they called it Grand National. The late Benny Parsons was a figure eight champion. A lot of people didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he honed his skills racing, you know, all over the South in figure eight racing.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
and he's very, very proud of that. You know, or was, I should say,
Yeah,
was
he
proud
was,
of that. He would talk about it all the time. But you know, looking forward, what are your plans for 2016?
Get a win at Riverhead. That is probably the key thing. I mean, I don't see anything else that I could really get any more than just winning at the home track, you know.
Winning at your home track in front of your hometown people.
Yeah, it's tough at Riverhead, you know. A lot of good competition.
Without
We've won at other tracks, you know, we've won all over, but for him, he wants to win at Riverhead. He finished top 5 in points, he did great, but he's there, he's there, he's knocking on the door.
You know, a lot of people say that the car counts at Riverhead the last few years have dwindled, but I'll tell you what, the guys who were showing up are the cream of the crop. There's no back markers.
No.
And on any given night, any one of those guys could win or finish last. You know, it's not like, I know years ago, there was a lot of cars, but there were a lot of cars that maybe didn't belong out there.
Yeah,
Now you don't
they
have
were
that.
separated.
Yeah.
If you look at the times, just look at the times. I mean, they're within a second and 1.2 seconds from first to 28th in a legend car.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I know in the modifieds, we're going to be playing with modifieds in the future. 2/10 in the tour race was pole or home.
Yeah. No, you have to be on your game.
You got to be on your game, without a doubt, without a doubt. Now, you have a wife, your wife Erica, and your daughter Lauren. Can't do this without their support as well.
No.
Tell us a little bit. How does that work?
Well, you know, a lot of race people know this, but the general audience might not. But they do a lot behind the scenes. You know, I mean, Erica, you know, make sure we have food, make sure all the paperwork's in order when we go away, all of that stuff. You know, it's just easier on us. We can concentrate on working on the car and the setup and everything else. My daughter is old enough now to get in the pits, and she supports her brother. She loves her brother. You know, she remembers when I was racing, holding my trophies and stuff. You know, and she's getting into it a lot more now. So you know, it's nice that she can go in the pits though. So
Yeah,
yeah,
makes it a lot easier.
Yes, it does.
Anyway, we're going to take a break now. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with the race team, the Checker One Motorsports racing team, when we come back.
Hey, this is Chris Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
This is Sarah Martin at Daytona International Speedway, and you're watching Inravio TV.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, welcome back. No, it's funny. I always say this: the conversation you have off mic on the commercials is sometimes pretty cool. We talk about your dad and racing in California and stuff. So it just builds upon that. I know my grandfather took me my first race when I was a kid. My Uncle Johnny raced the Freeport back in the 50s.
It's funny you said my Uncle Eddie, my mother's brother. He, when I was younger, I used to babysit for the kids. I was young myself, but and he used to take me every weekend to National Speedway. He was a drag racer.
Yeah.
But it got you into the.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. And he used to teach me some stuff as far as working on the cars and stuff. But like I was saying during the commercial, when we started with the go-karts when they were younger, in the first year or so, they just drove. But then I wanted them to work on them. So when they would ask questions, can I change a toe? Artie would say, I wouldn't let him do it unless he knew why and what it was for. And they just took it and ran with it. So I'm proud of them.
That's big. That's really big. A lot of people don't realize there's more that's going on back home in the shop or in the garage than at the racetrack. You should be just there tweaking and getting ready to race.
That's it.
You see guys unload, they're fixing stuff, changing stuff.
Yeah.
You don't do that. And you guys, I've never seen you guys unload. You're ready to rock.
Yeah,
We make a little tweak here and there. That's it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
we do our homework in the garage.
Absolutely. That's what it should be done.
We have numbers we hit on the scales and get the cars where they belong, and you just have to adjust for the weather, maybe the track conditions a little bit, but not a lot. If you're turning more than a turn, 2 turns, especially a legend car, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you might want to start over.
Yeah.
Anyway, real quick, just want to say Hendrick Motorsports had to make an emergency landing after leaving Las Vegas Speedway yesterday. The plane was forced to land in Tennessee after smoke was discovered in the cabin. The plane was carrying the team members, and no drivers were on, but the team members, and nobody was injured. We all can remember back, I believe it was 2004,
Martinsville.
where the Hendrick family lost a good portion of their family and some members when the plane crashed on its way to Martinsville. So thank God that everything was all right. That's Rick Hendrick's one of the good guys in our business, in this sport. So that worked out well. So, but anyway, looking forward, this is a sport that costs a lot of money. Whether you're doing it as a hobby, as a business, however you approach it, using it as a stepping stone, you can't do this out of dad's wallet.
No.
Who are some of the people that make that happen for you?
Well, there's a lot of people that always, even if they can't help out of the wallet, they always support us morally too. We just lost our Uncle Mike, who was one of my dad's coworkers, we just lost him to cancer, and he always supported us. He wanted to see me in a modified this year like no one else. And there's just people like him that can't replace, and that help you get to where you are and help you know where you want to go.
Now, I look at your race cars. They're a rolling billboard.
Yeah, and people think that we do have a lot of sponsors, don't get me wrong, but not everyone gives money.
Right.
I believe in recognizing anyone that helps us with anything. That's why we always have a lot of names on the car. We do get a decent amount. We do have our steady sponsors, and they do give some money. We could always use a money sponsor. The bigger you go, the more money you're going to need, But I really do believe that anyone that helped us in the past and helps us during the season, that they get recognized. I think it's important. And even after the season, we give plaques to them and pictures and shirts and whatever we can do. I just think it helps. I mean, we develop relationships. Talk about the racing family. You do that with your sponsors also. 2 or 3 of our sponsors have been with us over 25 years.
And I was just going to say that.
I
was just going to say that because, it's easy to get a sponsor.
Keep a sponsor.
Keep a sponsor. It's hard to get them. But, and then I noticed, and I've been all over this country at racetracks, and I've been going to some of these tracks for 20-something years. And I noticed with your guys, from when you were racing and your boys are racing, they're some of the same people that you had, like you said, 25 years ago. Yeah. Because, and I tell this to people all the time, and they think I'm just blowing smoke. You got to take care of those guys.
That's right.
It's recognition, and whether they're looking to get money into their business, whether they're looking to get more feed into their store, whether they're just looking for that little plaque so they can put it on their office and say, I'm a part of that.
Yeah. The demographics of NASCAR, as you know, it's proven that sponsorship works.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the names, people use their products, and it works on a local level also.
NASCAR fans are brand loyal, as we all know.
Absolutely.
And then, I know when I was racing, I had an unorthodox sponsor, a chiropractic physical therapy office. And that was a tough sell, but when I got him, he's been with me ever since. With me, my daughter, anybody who drove for me, and will always continue to be around for me. But I was able to show him a return on that sponsorship dollar. All of a sudden, people started going, how'd you hear about it? Oh, Joe from the racetrack.
Yeah.
And that was big.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
And, we picked up a couple new sponsors this past season, and I already got phone calls about what are we doing this year. So we're doing something right.
Doing something right. Well, you got a state champion.
Yeah, that helps. Don't get me wrong. You know what? I don't know how you feel about it, but I've always believed that if you're competitive every time you go to track and you have a chance to win, that's all you can ask for. You're not going to win every week.
No.
I don't care how good you are.
Yeah. Charlie Jazomic, one of the best in the business, he didn't win every week.
Luck. You need luck too. You need racing luck. Like Artie, we were joking about it. Artie cracked one fender in 2 years. Wow. This year, he won a re-rec, and it's not his fault. So, I mean, it happens. And we didn't do anything different.
Right.
We're probably better than we ever were, so it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Destroyed the rear end the first week, won the second week, throttle stuck the third week.
Won the next week.
Won the next week.
It just happens. I mean, all you can do is be prepared, like Artie said, and we present ourselves well at the track.
Absolutely.
We help everyone we can. I think that's a big part of it. You see someone struggling, especially, the Legend division we've been concentrating on mostly the last couple of years, but we've helped a lot of people. We have them over the shop, help them with setups, but not just, we tell them why we're doing it, teach them why we're doing it. It helps the competition. Plus, it helps you because you don't want to get taken out by someone that just washes up to the wall or something. It helps all around.
Oh, it's a win-win for everybody when you help each other out. Now, you said earlier, you guys help each other. That's unique. You made a comment. Both brothers are fighting, duking it out, competition. No. You guys don't have that.
No, we definitely don't.
No.
Him and me have been working together really well last year, especially. He was always kind of just, he always had that really good talent.
Yeah, just
he wasn't as far as I was with setting the car
knowledge
up
of what it felt.
The knowledge of what the car felt while you're doing things.
Probably the main thing in 2013 when I started, because this is going to be my fourth year, was trying to communicate what I wanted with the car to my brother. Because we're completely open. Like, it's not like he's hiding stuff from me, or as far as I know.
No, he's not.
Like, it was hard to really communicate what I wanted out of the car because I didn't really know. And as I learned how certain things work, I was able to tell him that we got to adjust this part a little bit, or could we do something to make this turn better, or,
We got to the point this year
I think this year was,
Yeah, we got to the point this year where I would have to stay at work or something, and I wouldn't be able to scale his car, and I would text him. He said, "Oh, it's done already. I scaled it, went through it already." And I trusted him, and we'd go to the track, and he'd be just as good as if I did it.
On the money, yeah.
I had a couple of rookie drivers drive for me over the years, and feedback. I'd ask them, "What's the car doing?" "I don't know." Or they pull in, "Car's making a noise. Where's it coming from?" "I don't know."
You can't help somebody if they don't know. A simple thing, with Alan, we taught him, he was having a little issue with whether it was loose or tight. And as you know, that's finicky. And you can have both in one lap, too, in one corner.
Yep.
So, putting our heads together, we tried to come up with something. We put some tape on a wheel like people do, but we put it in a different spot. We said, listen, if this tape goes past 12 o'clock, you're tight. If it goes 10 or 2 to 10, you're loose, And it helped him, and he just naturally got the feel of it.
Yeah.
And we were able to get it better, like Artie said,
The late Tom Baldwin Sr., he said to me one day, because if you're turning that steering wheel more than 7 degrees, you're turning it too much.
That's right.
Because
It's
then
true.
you're all over the place.
It's true.
know?
It's true. I mean, you tell them, but yours.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the videos on my GoPro, I'm turning the wheel like this in a Legend car.
That's it.
Very little when the car's really good.
You see so many guys, their arms are crisscrossed, and then they're coming out like this, and they wonder why they're not getting, no forward bite.
You break those tires loose, you're losing time. It's all about time. Speed, time, same thing.
Especially with Legends, wheelbase.
You have
So
to be
small.
smooth. You have to be very smooth.
One thing that helped me too was we don't have a GoPro, or already does, but I wanted to use video thing. So I wire tied my phone on the chassis since probably the end of 2014.
On the roll bars, yeah.
And you just record and it works same as a GoPro. No harm, no foul. And
Right.
that, you know, if I'm like, I think it's doing this, but I'm not sure, then all right, look at the tape. And they usually
watch
could
it.
be
See,
like, all right.
we'd use it as a tool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You use that as
Yep.
a tool to watch the person's hands. People don't it's a tool.
Oh, without a doubt.
And it's a handling tool, and we were able to correct things. You know.
Yeah, I mean, back when I was racing, they didn't have GoPros.
No.
They had old VCS, tape, big cameras, you know. And it was an old figure eight guy. He used to, the next morning, or sometimes that night, you know, to 2, 3 in the morning, we watched the video. And said, watch this. See what you did there? See that? See this? See this? And I learned so much from watching the video, in this case, the GoPro.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, you're getting a bird's eye view of what's happening, where I got to see it from like a top, so to speak, because my wife used to film from the top row, and just focused on what I was doing. And, you know, usually that was short-lived, because I was usually out early, you know.
Yeah. Well, I feel the best drivers are the people that work on their cars.
Yep.
We do everything ourselves, pretty much. You know, set up the cars. And then if you're a driver that knows what you want in the car to get better, you're just going to excel.
Right.
And that's what they do. So, you know, but we have a good team also.
You do.
You know, I know you've been around. Ron Folden's been with us, and John Heeg is like Alan's mentor. We put an ad in the paper, and John answered a few years ago with the late model, believe it or not, and he just took a liking to Alan, both of them, but he mentors Alan a little bit.
He
You know,
helped
he's got
me.
a special
He helped me
bond.
early on a lot.
Yeah.
Was trying to figure out stuff.
He has SCCA road racing experience
Okay.
under him, and great guy. Ron's been with us since the go-kart days. Poor guy. I think his wife wants to kill me, but he comes Saturday to Riverhead and Sunday to the go-kart track, because I still raced.
Right.
And then these boys race Sundays.
Yeah.
We were doing double days, believe it or not,
Oh, yeah.
for a long time.
I remember doing that.
Yeah, and Ron came with us every step of the way. He's been with these boys since they're young, and so that's all. And then Chris Perry is Alan's friend in school, and he's been with us for a few years now, and he's learned a lot to help us out. And that's our core team. You know, my brothers, extended family, help us also, but that's our core team.
Now, what's it like, you know, New York State champion in the semi-pro division? You go to school on Monday after that. What was that like?
Okay, so nobody cares at all, except for Chris, because Chris is literally the only one in school who likes racing.
Yeah.
And we didn't say anything about it, and I remember, because Chris was texting me, they were announcing congrats to this girl and this girl on making All-State and stuff. And Chris texted me, you won a championship, Alan, why aren't you up there? I'm like, because it's not
a school sport.
Yeah.
It was
So,
different at college, too.
I mean-
everyone was high-fiving me at college.
Yeah.
when I told them
If I
that.
told people, they'd be like, congrats, that's insane, but...
Yeah.
like,
But honestly,
nobody-
parents of the students in
Yeah.
the local school, the parents, you know, Alan's into
I was in-
sports also.
Right,
He's
yeah.
a good lacrosse player and stuff. But the parents of a lot of the students congratulate, and we're friends on Facebook
Yep.
and stuff, and they congratulate us all. They know what he's doing.
You know, so when I went to high school, you know, back in the day, back in the 70s, and I was into racing. I was helping my Uncle John, you know, with his car and whatnot. And people were looking at me, you know, like, what is guy? I had pictures of, what is that? Oh, it's a figure eight car. What's a figure eight car?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a modified. What do you mean a modified? Nobody had a clue back then. Like you said, they didn't care.
No, that's
You know?
how me and Chris met. He moved here about 3 or 4 years ago. He was wearing a Jeff Gordon shirt. He was a big Jeff Gordon fan. And I was like, hey, 'cause I had my Pedersen shirt. He's like, hey, you know the Pedersens? I'm like, I am the Pedersens. And he was like, dude, I go to Riverhead all the time. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Where do you sit? He sat two bleachers up from me for like 10 years.
Never even know it.
Never knew it.
Yeah. Small world, right?
Yeah.
And he's my best friend now. So
There you go. Hey, we're going to take a break. We come back, we'll talk about a little bit of what went on in Las Vegas Motor Speedway and some other inside stuff going on in the world in NASCAR when we come back.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Mark Well. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're punching the. But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, we're back. We are back. Hey, so the big two, the Sprint Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, they were at Las Vegas, battling the windstorm. I don't know if you watched that. Holy cow!
See that? Yeah.
Man, it was like Afghanistan. The way the signal was coming.
See the
But
track.
oh man! But anyway, the Xfinity Series was in Las Vegas. Kyle Busch won from the pole. He dominated that race. Kyle Busch, you know. Daniel Suarez was second, Eric Jones third, Chase Elliott fourth, Austin Dillon was fifth, followed by Brandon Jones sixth, Ty Dillon seventh, Elliott Sadler was eighth, Justin Allgaier ninth, and rounding out the top 10, Brendan Gaughan. The Cup guys, Brad Keselowski just took off the last few laps, beating out Joey Logano, who was second, Jimmy Johnson third, Kyle Busch was fourth, Austin Dillon was fifth, Ryan Blaney sixth, Kevin Harvick seventh, Dale Earnhardt Jr. eighth, Kurt Busch on the pole finished ninth, and rounding out the top 10 was Casey Kane. NASCAR suspended crew chief Cole Pernfo one event and fined the Furniture Row racing employee $50,000 for rules infraction. Additionally, the following penalties were doled out as well. Martin Truex Jr., 15 points. Let's see. Furniture Row body panel infraction. Randall Burnett, crew chief for the number 47 of AJ Allmendinger, was fined $15,000 and placed on probation until 12/31 for rear wheel crush panel infraction. So I don't know why they didn't pick that up in pre-race, but they didn't. Richard Childress Racing crew chief Slugger Lab, Justin Alexander's number 27, and Luke Lambert, number 31, as well as crew chief Dave Winston of the 95, have all been fined $15,000 and put on probation until 12/31. Plus, each team will be docked 10 owners' points. Owners' points are the big thing. That's that's what you're going for. Yeah. And each team violated Rule 20.4-E, which has to do with body panels and mounting. 4 teams received warnings for failing template inspection. That was the 32, the 83, the 88, and the 98. Former tech inspector.
Yep.
There's a fine line. Some of on the templates, 3/32 of an inch is all you got.
And people, you know how thin that is? People they don't realize how thin that is.
That's not something you see in by eye.
It's an eyelash.
You see guys with hammers beating it up to meet the template sometimes,
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Every little thing helps. So they try to get as close to the tolerances as they can, and sometimes it's a little over.
I know a fabricator was looking at the rule, because crew guys, and even you're starting to be an engineer, some of the ways to tweak stuff, but there was no rule on how high the fuel cell can could go in a Sprint Cup Series car. So a lot of them were down, and he's looking at it and he says, wait, that's the aero underneath
the car.
Because if I push it all the way up, it's not going to block it.
No drag.
No drag. So he did that. He got a little slap on the hand from NASCAR. No, there was no penalty. It was a few years ago. And he gets called into the big boss's office. I'm not going to say who it was. He gets called into the team owner's office. He thinks he's getting fired. Guy reached out and shook his hand. Because that's innovation. I wish more guys on my team would have that.
That's right.
I appreciate that, because there was nothing, the following week there was an addendum that addressed that. Nothing in the rule book that day, And, as an engineer or studying to be an engineer, even on a short track like Riverhead, some of that stuff means a lot.
Yeah, it really does. Even aero, people don't realize it. I mean, when you're working with thousandths of a second to try to beat the guy next to you, you need everything you can get. You have to go through that car like, state of the art like you would.
I remember back in the day with blunderbuss. Do you remember a lot of guys were getting flat tires? Remember this? I took a piece of black pipe and I welded a piece over the valve, but I left enough to stick it out so I can adjust the air pressures. And there was nothing wrong. It was safe. It wasn't sharp. We had some guy take angle on it and put it on, and then the next week they made the rule we can't do that anymore. But up until then, I wasn't getting flats for a while. But it wasn't in the rule book. I wasn't bending the rules. There was no rule. They made a rule, like you said.
I moved my valve stems to the middle of the rim.
Well, now they do that. Yeah.
And everybody looked at me, what are you doing? How do you get air in it? You get it.
Yep. But you had to improvise. You were out because of a flat. You do all that work, all that hard work, and you're out because of a
You
flat.
work your way to the front, and all of a sudden,
Exactly.
you're sitting under caution, people looking.
So it happens on the small tracks also, not just in NASCAR, in big time.
Oh, definitely. It's funny. I was helping Wade Cole in the Modified Tour a little bit, and Wade's one of those guys who's been doing this for 40 years.
Yeah.
He's not going to win races, he's not going to win championships, but he's out there every week. And I was walking around the garage area of one of the tracks, and I noticed the way the roof went onto the B panel, and the B panel overlapped that way. And I'm looking at the top running teams, and it was the other way. So I walked up to one of the guys, says, "Why is just?" He goes, "You get about almost a tenth of a second, because the wind is trying to go under there. This way, it's over it."
That's a lot.
I was like, "Wow."
How about trimming studs for the lug nuts that stick out? Little things like that.
Little things, yeah.
People don't realize.
And
like Artie said, when it's thousandths of a second, it matters.
But you know what? You get 1,000 here, 2,000
Right.
there, another 2,000. Before you know it, you gained the whole second.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's big. That's big. On a quarter-mile racetrack, in a 10-lap qualifying race, that's a lap. That's a lap.
If you think about a thousandth of a second in 10 laps, you're right there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, looking forward, you're looking to go modified racing. You're going to do some dabbling from here and through the grapevine?
Yeah, that's what we're trying. We're trying to work with stuff. We had a couple things going, and ultimately, we're going to probably eventually, hopefully, build our own and do what we want. Have fun. We're not sure how much we'll be able to run, but whatever we do, we want to go travel, run big races, get our name out there, because we know we can do it. It's just going to be if we can get the equipment and find the money and go race and go after it.
Well, you guys, and back when your dad was racing, always had immaculate equipment, always. And I'd see you get all torn up, and especially with the blunderbuss, you get all torn up on a Saturday. The following Saturday, like right out of the showroom.
Well, you talked about sponsors before, and I think that's very important. Like I said, we present ourselves well, present the equipment well, present the cars well. And it is in the rule book, by the way, that you're supposed to keep it sort of nice.
Yes, it is.
But besides that, I just think it shows that you know how you work. We take pride in it, and
It's a reflection of
the team.
Absolutely.
Yeah? We have a mission statement. We have a bio. We have a mission statement. They're impressed with that. And I think that's why we keep our sponsors, like we said in the past.
Oh, definitely.
And you're right, but it's a lot of hard work. It doesn't just look like that every week for no reason. It's a lot of work. We put a lot of hours in the garage, in the shop.
Even with the late model, it showed.
Yeah.
So. Now I know you had some health things going on, and it kind of took you out of the seat, so to speak. What's going on with that?
Well, I have a back and a neck injury. I'm working on it. I'm going through shots and stuff like that. I might need surgery. We're not sure. I'm close to retiring. That's my main goal. I have to get through that. My job comes first, obviously, and them coming up the way they did and starting as early as they did helped me a lot, because I'm still in it every week, and it's so proud when your kids do well also, don't get me wrong. But that keeps me going. But we do have a simulator at home, and I'm doing pretty good on that.
All right.
You know, they keep national points and stuff. I'm up there pretty good.
So I've been to the track, like I said, a few times this past year, and there was a day I saw you could barely walk. You were just walking around, the look on your face, And
yeah, it stinks. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I jumped in a legend car here. I jumped in a late model there. And I still have it in me. I still want to do it, and I'll be back in something.
There you go.
I'll be back in something. And it'll be nice that these guys will crew for me, and hopefully we can be in victory lane with that also.
And that's got to be big. Now, again, I touched earlier what you're looking to do. You're looking to win a race. You said at Riverhead Raceway.
Yeah.
Where else do you plan on racing in 2016? You got any plans as of yet? Or is that still being?
Not really sure, because with the new schedule and stuff for Riverhead, that's all kind of up in the air. But depending on what we do with with a modified, if we get a ride or whatever with Artie, we got to go towards that. So like, if there's a race like Stafford, I would like to do Stafford, or like Thompson. There's a new road course. Those modifieds will run there, and if Artie's in that, I'd rather go there. I mean, I would like to get a track championship at Riverhead, but honestly, when you start focusing on points, it doesn't get that fun when you're trying to just you have to do your best every week and stay consistent. And I mean, like, we didn't even know that we were in the running last year. We were just
Which
trying to
probably
go
made
out
it
to have
better
fun.
for you.
Yeah, it was really good. So.
I mean, he has a state championship.
Yeah.
Would we want a Riverhead championship? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I have no doubt in my mind if we concentrated on it, he'd be a contender. Absolutely. We're going to see. We might do that. We'll see what happens. You never know. His car's going to be totally brand new, rebuilt.
The Nationals this year was in Anderson, South Carolina last year. It's in Waterford, Connecticut this year.
Yeah, it's in Waterford for the
So
Legends.
that's something that, see where we are.
We're definitely going to do some
Try to do that.
traveling like always, and we do well when we travel. And it all depends on money and sponsorship, obviously. I mean, like I said, I know you said I have a rolling billboard, but it's not all money.
Yeah, no, I
we
was
do
the
what we
same
can.
way.
We do what we can.
Now, you were saying a modified. You're looking at an SK type modified or a Tour type modified, or whatever you could get get a ride.
I would much rather just go right tour type. I don't see the point after driving the tour type, having so much fun with that, why I would slow down, to be honest. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. I want to just keep going and get my name as far as I can. And I think tour type is the way to go.
I remember the first time my whole life I raced at ISO Speedway, which is a fifth, and Riverhead, which is almost a quarter. And the first time I went and did laps at Thompson, I came off the corner, I was like, wow, look around a little bit.
You have a little time. Not much, though.
You're not with a modified at Riverhead, it's 3 seconds on, 3 seconds off, 3 seconds on, 3 seconds off.
Even with the Legends, you're right with the modified, but even with any division. But the Legends, we're lucky because you can travel at different tracks. We've been to some big tracks for those cars.
Yeah.
When, the couple guys we've been mentoring and teaching and helping out, when we go away to Wall or Waterford, you come back to Riverhead, they can tell you. I don't let them tell you in their words, but it's a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes Riverhead
Confidence.
so much. You get your confidence going to bigger tracks. I actually went to a smaller track when we went to Bethel, which is a little bit smaller than Riverhead.
Yeah, it's laid out different.
Yeah.
And it was laid out different, but the people I was racing around, I didn't know, and it just gave me like that feel the first time we went there. I don't care, I'm going to the front. And I basically did that the first few times. When I went back to Riverhead, I was able to keep that mentality, and it really picked me up my legend career back then.
I had the opportunity to take a Legend out a few times, and they are different. They are different. It's like a go-kart on steroids.
Joe, I've driven everything.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, that's one of the hardest cars to drive.
Without a doubt.
The wheelbase is so short. The power to weight ratio is unreal. I mean, people don't realize unless you get in one.
Yeah.
They're very responsive.
Yeah.
You need throttle control, you need handling, the driver has to drive that car. You have to wheel that car.
Without a doubt.
And the guys that can drive that well can drive anything. He jumps into modified, jumps in late models like a Cadillac, he says. Yeah, when it's handling good.
Hey, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some news out of the Richard Petty Motorsports shop, and we'll finish our conversation with the Pedersens.
What's up, guys? We're Scan Fair, and we're here with Inravio. if they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
It's always been important to us to have music a part of our lives, part of our children's lives. At Village Music Shop, Bonnie and Chuck have not only made it possible for our kids to learn and understand and read music and enjoy playing a musical instrument, but they've also made it fun.
I really like coming here. I like coming to Village Music because everybody here is nice.
And they've inspired some creativity and imagination and taught them discipline. And along the way, they've gotten some self-confidence, really been like a part of our family.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Rich Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you get punched in the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Welcome back. Here you have some news. The grandson of Hall of Fame, NASCAR Hall of Famer Richard Petty, Thad Moffitt, he's 15 years old, will be making his NASCAR debut with a late model at Caraway Speedway in North Carolina. Thad is the son of Petty's daughter Rebecca and her husband Brian Moffitt, who happens to be the CEO of Richard Petty Motorsports. That has raced in quarter midgets and go-karts. So he'll be stepping in to late models, and I'm sure before you know it, he'll be in a truck, followed by an Xfinity car, and he'll be running the 43 someday.
Now it's number 46.
That's 46.
It's 46 right now. Yeah.
So it's good to see that the Petties are still going to be well represented in racing for years to come. But anyway, you know, we were talking off camera about traveling. With Bethel Motor Speedway. Tracy Chirico, the business operations manager,
Great
is a
job.
fan of our show.
Great job she does
is
up there.
usually on. In fact, she's there. I see her. She's in the chat room.
Does a terrific job.
I want to thank Tracy for her taking time out of her very busy schedule, because and even though it's off season, a lot happens in the off season. Most people think you just go open the day, open the gate.
No. Especially in her position, she takes care of everything.
Without a doubt.
Place is you've been there in the old days. It's night and day.
Oh, we went there a couple of times this past season.
It's night and day. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. The grounds are beautiful.
Oh, it's nice.
It keeps a nice place.
And I'll tell you, this past Saturday, I had the opportunity to go visit some guys at Hollywood Motors. Mike at Hollywood Motors actually gave me a tour of his place. He has old muscle cars that he sells and restores. So I want to thank Mike for taking time out of his busy day and letting my crew walk around and take pictures and shots. So I believe he's on today watching, so welcome. Another first-timer to our show. And I think we're going to have a lot more first-timers to our show with the Pedersen guys here. I like what you said, I am the Pedersens. I like that. That's good. That's good.
True story.
That's a true
good.
story.
Yeah.
He says, oh, I know those guys. He goes, I am the Pedersen.
I am the Pedersens. But you know, I raced with your uncle Anna. I didn't race with your other brother. You know, I didn't race with him. I was already done.
Right.
But you know, I'll tell you what. There's no cleaner dry. It must run in your family. You know.
Yeah.
You guys race hard. You race clean, and
I mean, I have never seen them dump somebody. Never.
Yeah.
I mean, I taught them that. I think you gain respect that way also. You raise people how you want to be raised.
Absolutely. And that goes a long way because I'm one of those old school vindictive guys, and I remember that guy spun me out in 1979. It's like 1998 now. I got to get him back. This is my first opportunity. But you learn that that doesn't work, and that doesn't work. And when you guys, like I said earlier, you guys walk around the pit area, you're well respected. You're 15 years old.
16.
16 years old. I mean, you have the respect of a guy who's been racing for 10 years, and you as well. And I think a lot of it has to do with like what your dad said earlier. You were brought up right.
Yeah.
And that's what's missing today.
I'm proud of it. I'm very proud.
You should be. You and your wife, you should be.
We are. We're very proud of all of them.
Especially in today's day and age where it's so easy to do this.
Oh, yeah. Now they're focused, and like I said, their number one job was school.
Yeah.
And that's how we brought them up. Racing the go-karts and racing in general was a tool for discipline, actually, And I don't mean the bad way, I mean the good way. What they did was they wanted to race. They knew they had to do well in school, do the right thing, and work on things.
Yeah.
Can't do it myself.
Yeah. And like when we were chatting back and forth about coming on the show, you're like, this is what impressed me, I got to tell you. You said, can my brother and my dad come too? I got the chills when I read that. I was like, of course, yeah, sure. And they're like, well, I got lacrosse practice. I was like, the guy plays sports too? I said, wow.
Yeah, he's doing well. He just got back from Connecticut in a big training camp. Yeah,
wow.
For lacrosse. So.
Yeah, we went to a goalie clinic. It was good.
Goalie clinic. He's a goalie and he's doing well. We just, try to do the right thing. We work hard. I brought them up to love each other, and it shows.
And I'll tell you what.
Like you said, at the track.
When all is said and at the end of the day, the only person you got to lean on is your family. Your family will be there for you no matter what. And
that's right.
You guys are there for each other. Like it helped them out so you can go racing. And that's a sacrifice a lot of kids wouldn't have made.
That's right.
I've probably heard from about 20 people that tell me, I can't believe you let up your car for that race.
I mean, usually, back in my day, I had people, you're running in the back, give me that part. Did that?
Like Alan said, late in the year, we realized we got a call from Charlotte saying that he has a chance at winning the semi-pro championship, and we didn't know we were that close. And we said, all right, what's left? Because with our next, there's a certain date that you can gain points. After that, you can't. So we planned the rest of the season. And said if we just do well, you have a good shot at it.
I remember driving up there, we were joking around. We're like, all right, this week I'm the priority instead of Artie because he's the bigger brother. So if something happens, Artie, you got to give it to him. Artie's like, yeah, all right, no, fine. We didn't think something would actually happen. My motor would go.
In practice.
But Artie just switched. He took his suit off, said, all right, Alan, this is what it's going to do. It's pretty good right now. It's almost right the same as you.
That day was very fun because
we had a lot of fun.
We argued all practice after he got in my car because he was not happy with my car at all. And I was fine. I was running fast laps after I got out. And he's arguing. I'm trying to make changes, trying to help how he drives because we drive completely different. We get the time trials, and he needs like 2/10, and I tell him, all right, just shush. I made a big change. Just drive it.
He told me he did something. He did something else. Yeah, he didn't tell me till after the race what he did.
Before the race, I made another big change, and I said, just go drive it. And
he was in.
He comes up through the field like 2 times and wins the thing.
Back to the front, he got put to the back because they said
I remember that was on
involved in a wreck.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you're involved in a wreck when you don't stop.
Yeah.
But whatever, that's fine.
That's all right.
But it showed he belonged there. You know what I mean? Nice. And back in the day, with showing them what to do and work on things and all of that, it just shows the work ethic now.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're running out of time. I want to thank you guys immensely for taking time out of your busy schedules to come on and be a guest on the 505 on Racing Show. Normally we don't have this kind of setup except for the big shows, the anniversary show, but this worked out well, and I thank you.
Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
You know,
you.
you guys are
Thank
all
you.
right. I wish you both continued success in your racing careers and your schooling and education, because that's big, because having an education today is big. You got to have that.
We brought a little gift for you too, this little.
Oh, you didn't have to do that. And to you and your wife, a testament to the parents that you are in this day and age. It's hard to do that.
Thank you. I'm very proud.
And I appreciate the first times I go down to your trailer, it's like I'm part of the team
That's
sometimes.
right.
So that makes me feel good as well. So anyway, I want to thank Checker One Motorsports, the Pedersens, as they were called, for coming down today. So this week coming up, the Sprint Cup Series will be at Phoenix. And wherever your endeavors are going to bring you this week, I want you to be safe, be happy, enjoy yourselves. Tell somebody you love them, give them a hug. God bless you all, and we'll see you next week on the 505 on Racing Show.